Welcome to another quick review from Ultimate DIY, and today we're going to take a look at this nuclear radiation detector. This is made by a company called FNI RSI. They make a lot of bench equipment and testing equipment. They've been around a long time and have a really good reputation. So they sent this unit out to me to go ahead and take a quick look and see what it's all about. Let's open up the box and let's see what's inside. It just simply pops open. First thing you're going to see is the little instruction manual, which is great. And that comes in Chinese and in English. The unit sits inside of here. It does come with a USB-C charger to keep it charged up, which is fantastic because I hate putting batteries and stuff. This I can charge. I don't have to worry about it. The construction of this thing is great. It's got a very minimal type feel to it where all I have to do is just grab it, hold on. It's got a rubber bumper all the way around it, so if you drop this thing while you're working or moving around, it's not going to get damaged. When you first get it, it has a protective covering over the screen. We're going to leave that on for today while I show this to you, so that maybe that'll stop some of the glare so you can see the actual screen a little bit better in camera. But when you go to use it, you will remove that. Now, this unit will work with gamma, beta, and X-ray. So it's pretty much an all-around great radiation detector. So where you would use this, first of all, I would use it in the construction field. I don't know if you know it, but tile itself and concrete put out radiation. A lot of things you deal with. Granite countertops will have radiation in it. I mean, when you're dealing in construction, it's in a lot of things. If you're in the geological industry or field and you're drilling, you're going to be drilling through all kinds of stone and rock that could have radiation in it. So you're going to want to wear something like this or have it on your person. If you are working in the medical or dental field and you're working with x-rays or around x-rays, you're definitely going to want to have something like this. Also, if you're a prepper, you can monitor radiation. If you work in a nuclear power plant, you obviously are going to want to have something like this on your person at all times. So what this is going to read is it's going to read your microsieverts, and it's going to give you an accumulative amount throughout the day, and you'll be able to set alarms in here so that if it gets to that level, it's going to go off. One of the cool things is this alarm will function even if it's in sleep mode and you're not actively using it. It's still tracking how much you're around radiation, because radiation becomes more dangerous as you're in it longer. Now, when you first use this and turn it on and you start trying to read, it's going to read very small. Like if you're around concrete or tile, it may read a 10 or 11, maybe even up to a 15 or 18. But that is extremely small. When it becomes dangerous, it's usually 1,000 sieverts or all the way up to 1,000,000. That's when it becomes very dangerous, and then as it accumulates throughout the day. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on real fast so that you can see. All that you do, if you look here, you've got an up and down arrow here to move around. You've got back arrows. You've got a little dial here that looks like a gear. That's where you're going to go in and set your settings. And your on button is right in the center with the red. So you're just going to push that down. So when you turn it on, one of the first things you're going to see is your micro numbers right here. We are 0.04, which means there's practically nothing in here. We are on a concrete floor, so you may be picking up a little bit. It's going to have the alarm, which you'll set that, and I'll show you how to get into the settings here in a second. So if it gets to that point, it's going to set off an alarm. There's your cumulative number right there. And then you're going to look underneath the bottom here, and it has a cumulative stored. So it is going to store that over time so that you can keep track of what you've been exposed to. And you have a maximum number and you have an average number. So the one thing that you need to know, though, just to go in and set it, is you'll take that little gear, hold it down, and it'll pop over to here. And now you can actually set your units from the microverts to any of the other ones that you want to set it to, and you'll just scroll. Actually, if I go back up to units, I go over and I can scroll, and if I click OK, I'm going to change to that unit, but I don't want to change that one. We're going to go ahead and go back. Here's your alarm mode. You can come over here and you can set the amount of exposure that you want or willing to accept here in that little block. So when it hits that, it's going to set the alarm off. But you'll go through and set all of your alarms, and you can set the dates and the time. You can set the alarm to be either a light, a vibrate, or a sound. We're going to go back, and then we go to general, which we can set brightness, and we can set the language. And generally, when you get this in the very beginning, the language is already going to be set to English. So that is the basic functions of it. But let's go ahead and take this one step further. We're going to turn it back on. And right now, we are reading nothing here. We are at zeros. We know that it'll probably go up to a 0.02. Yep, there it goes, 0.03. It stays right around that in here. So what I'm going to do, what I have here is a radioactive material card. And inside this little circle, it has radioactive material, and it'll test these units. These are the cards that you generally use to test to make sure your unit is working. So if you're working somewhere like a nuclear power plant, or you're working in the medical field around x-rays, you're going to want to make sure this unit is calibrated and working correctly. So if I hold the unit next to this little circle here, it should start changing. So we're going to hold it. There we go. 17, 20, 31, 41, 51, 67, 78, 92. Now my alarm's gone off. You can actually hear it. And we are still climbing. Now, one of the things I will tell you is your sensor on these is more back in here, not up here. So people tend to use it kind of like a stud finder, put it here, but it's back here. So it is telling me that there is definitely some radioactive material around. Now, this radioactive material card is fairly safe, but you still don't want to keep it all around everything else. I take and put it in a plastic bag and then put it up in the back of a shelf someplace. So there you go, guys. You see how it works. You see how the alarm goes, and you can actually turn that alarm sound up a little too, so it's really loud. But this thing will keep you safe. It's great to have around. So do yourself a favor, pick yourself up one today, and we'll see you guys on the next review.